Hello, everybody. Brother Ed coming to you once again from Louisville, Kentucky. This is the program American Stealth with the news that you can use. All truth goes through three stages: ridicule, violent opposition, then it is accepted as self evident. That comes from a deceased German philosopher by the name of Arthur Schopenhauer. Coronavirus is now in 23 countries throughout the world, 12 of which are right here in the U.S. At least that's the ones that we're being told about anyway. We really don't know how many cases there are. I'm going to tell you some things that might make you wonder, however, just how many cases there actually are. The next 2 weeks are going to be critical, just so everybody is aware. Well, maybe more than 2 weeks, actually. God only knows how many more people we're going to have coming into the country from China. Coming back from China. We've already got 350 coming in today that allegedly are going to be automatically quarantined, and I hope they will. Local news here is telling us that 5 people in Louisville have died from the flu. But although they ordinarily would tell us not only how many, but how and how much time that many died, they're not telling us how long it's been that those 5 people have died. Since when they got sick to when they died. They're not telling us that. They're just saying 5 people have died from the flu, and that the hardest hit areas of the city are the south end and the west end. That makes sense because it's mostly poor, uneducated people who probably really don't know what's going on and don't know how to protect themselves. Let me see here. Meade County, I think it was, if I'm remembering correctly. Yes. Meade County in Kentucky has closed its schools and postponed all school events until further notice. They say that it's because of a regular flu outbreak that's just the flu. But closing school and no school events until further notice for the flu? I don't know. That sounds kind of odd. And also, Taylor County in Kentucky and Washington County. This is 2 whole counties now, folks. Both of these counties have closed their schools from Wednesday of this week to Friday due to sickness. What sickness? I don't know. They're not telling us what sickness, just due to sickness. I wonder what sickness it is. They sound kind of closed-lipped. Now, if you get a text or hear a bulletin that you will be under curfew or are encouraged not to go anywhere where there will be a lot of people, it might just be time to bug out. Just saying. It might be. Now, if you wait too long, you might not be able to get where you're needing to go except to go by foot. Just letting you know. As I've said before, if you wait until the hospitals are so backed up that, like they're doing in China, that they're doing here, and they're sending people away, at that point, it might be too late. I wouldn't wait that long. Once you hear about it in your city, or if you start hearing things like what I'm hearing, it's got me kind of concerned. I'm not sure it's time to bug out just yet, but I'm watching and listening very closely. Now, this is what the kind of things that you need to be listening for. If they tell you that there are places in your state that are closing up their schools for an undetermined period of time, or as this one, they say they're closing school for the rest of the week due to sickness, but they're not telling you what the sickness is. If you don't listen so much to what they are saying, listen to what they're not saying. That's going to tell you a whole lot more. Just so you know, you got to learn how to hear what people are saying in order to know what they're saying. I would encourage gloves and the welder's mask. Now, you don't have to get the thing that goes over the entire head, because that's not a bad idea. You can get the clear plastic visor type mask that just goes over your face. That and a pair of gloves is probably the best you're going to be able to do anyway, because from what I'm hearing, the face masks that fit real tight on your face are not really good to use, especially in this time of year. Causes condensation. Warm, moist area there. Perfect place for the virus to live and thrive. And chances are, I don't know how, I think it's probably better, to be honest with you, to keep people from sneezing in your face or all over your face, because some people will do that. I'm sure you've met them. I have too. The kids, they don't know any better sometimes. I would strongly advise stocking up on everything, including water, now, just to be on the safe side. Because you just don't ever know. Come on, you just don't know how long it's going to be, or how long it could be, before so many people are falling out that the water company doesn't operate anymore, the electric company doesn't operate anymore, and if you've got both the gas and electric company, two different companies, as soon as you run out of electricity and you can't get it back on, you're not in good shape. You run out of water and you gotta leave. At that point, you don't have any choice. Martial law is a very real possibility. If it gets bad enough, they will institute martial law. They'll have to keep people from leaving a quarantine city. They won't have any other alternative, because people are going to be desperate. They're going to want to leave, especially when the food is run out and there's no more coming back in because you're in quarantine. You're going to be in some really sorry shape if you haven't left before that happens. And if it gets out of control in the U.S. like it is in China, that is definitely going to be something that will happen. We don't know for sure just yet that it's going to get that bad, but it probably will. Even if the R0 is only 4.8, which might as well round it off to 5. One person infects 5 people. We already know one person with the first generation mutation can infect 14 people at once. And from what the Chinese nurse that leaked the information out was saying, like I told you, I think that subtitle was a misprint, because she said second generation was going to be even worse of a mutation than the first. So it doesn't make any sense that it would have said 10 people would be infected by one person second generation mutation when 14 people get infected by first generation. I think that 10 was supposed to be 100. I really do. Can't prove it, but it's the only thing that makes any sense. If you don't have any weapons, I really would suggest getting them now, or as soon as you possibly can. Again, I'm going to just say this. Guns are going to be necessary, but they're not going to be as necessary as often as weapons of stealth. Like staff, a good hunting slingshot, knives, for if you need to get into some hand-to-hand combat, which you're likely eventually that's going to be necessary. You know, that's just the way it goes. Other than that, there really isn't much else to say except what I always say at the end, and that is, be at peace, be in prayer, be prepared, and pray again, because God knows we're not going to survive this without His help. Till next time, Brother Ed, signing out.